friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and I run a small business called Looping Teddies. And today we're testing and reviewing some free patterns because I definitely want to step up my inventory game. So I kind of make a lot of the same pattern, which I really love because that is like building my brand, and I always bring the same items to markets, but I also want to try out some new stuff every once in a while. So some of these were suggested to me by my customers at markets. So some people just asked me if I had any of these animals, and I sadly had to say no. So I wanted to try some of these out to kind of bring to future markets and hopefully sell them there, because there's definitely a demand for them. And then one of them is a fall pattern because we're heading into the fall season and I have a lot of fall markets coming up. There's 3 fall markets in total, and I definitely want to have some fall items. I'm not planning to make a whole bunch of them just in case I don't sell them well, but I still want to have some fall items in my shop. Then there's another mini item because mini items are just where my heart is at. I always make so many of these mini items that I can sell for less than 10 euros, and these tend to sell the best for me. So I definitely want to step up my mini item games. And to kind of rate these patterns, I've come up with some criteria that I will kind of judge these patterns on once I'm finished with them. So first of all, I will stop the time for you, how long it takes me to make each of these patterns. Of course, all of the patterns will be linked down below. And then I will rate these patterns on first market preppability. So this will obviously be very different for small patterns versus big patterns. So for small patterns, I'm looking for something like preferably no-sew. So if a pattern is quick to make, easy to make, I can make a lot of these mini items in a short amount of time. That is high market preppability for me for mini items. For big items, it's kind of different because for big items, you will take a while and most of these patterns will require you to sew, but they are still market preppable for me if I feel like I can charge for my time for these items. So if the turnout is big enough or detailed enough or cute enough that I feel like I can charge for the time it took to make, so that is high market preppability for big items. The next criteria I found for myself is how easily understandable is the pattern. So if I make it the first time, do I understand what the pattern wants me to do? I will also rate on that. And the final thing is how cute is the outcome. So do I think that this will be something that will sell at my markets? So these are the 3 criteria that I have found for myself, and let's get into the patterns. So with the first pattern, we are channeling the fall season. So it is for a cute little ghost by Crochet with Bay on Instagram. And this one is kind of popular, but I've never tried it out before. So it is a free Instagram pattern. And I think by looking at it, it will not take me a long time. So it's pretty simple. It's no-sew. There's only 3 slides explaining the pattern. I feel like this will work up pretty fast and pretty simple. So I will hop right into making it and then we will talk about it after. Okay, so I'm on the row where I have to add in the eyes right now, but I really don't know if I like the bigger ones more or the smaller ones. I really don't know. I think that is something that I really struggle with sometimes because for this it says to take 14mm eyes, but she's also using way thicker yarn than I am, so I don't really know what I want my ghost to look like. But I think I will go with these for now.
I just want to forget about the things I had to do. Turn my force to trampolines, levitate right through the roof. Levitate right through the roof now. Forget what I had to do now. I'm not good at dancing, so just be with me tonight. Wanna taste
Okay, so I finished the first pattern, which is for these baby ghosts, and I ended up adding some blush to it because I felt like this would give it just a bit more detail and a bit more character. So let's get into the review for this pattern. So first of all, it took me 17 minutes and 18 seconds to make, so definitely market preppable, under 20 minutes, and I think at this size I could sell these for €6 each. So I can make 3 of them in an hour, and that is like a good hourly rate for me. So definitely market prep friendly. I would also make this pattern again because I already did. So as I said, I was struggling with which eye size to add to the plushie, and I went ahead and went with the 10mm eyes for the first one. But then I wanted to try out how the smaller eyes would look as well, so I made another one with the smaller eyes. Here's the comparison, and I actually like the bigger eyes slightly more because it just looks a little bit cuter than the smaller eyes, but they're both pretty nice looking. So then for pattern understandability, this pattern was like easily understandable. I had no questions. There weren't any pictures of the process, but a simple pattern like this doesn't really need any pictures for explanation. So also 5 out of 5 for understandability of the pattern. Then let's rate the outcome of this pattern. So I think that these are definitely pretty cute. I think that compared to some other mini items that I have, they will probably still not be the bestseller, or they will probably not steal the show though. So I think they will sell pretty well at my fall markets, but still some other mini items might be more popular. So I will give it a 4 out of 5 for the outcome. So we have 5 out of 5 market preppability, 5 out of 5 understandable pattern, and 4 out of 5 for outcome. So that was the first pattern. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next pattern that we will be working on is actually from a blog. So this one is by Hello Stitches XO, and it is for a cute little elephant. I will put a picture up here on screen. So this one is super adorable. So this one is made from acrylic yarn, so it's kind of tiny, but I've seen posts of this one before where the elephant was made from plush yarn and it turned out so cute. So I've been wanting to make this one for a long time, and I've actually also been asked a couple of times before if I had any elephants at my markets. So this is definitely one that I really want to make. So this is obviously one of the bigger patterns that I will be trying out. So I will now go ahead and make the elephant, and then I will meet you when I'm finished and we will review the pattern.
Thought the praying would make it better, but I swear to God I'm just as lost as ever. Thought the bottle would hold me over, It still hurt me just as bad when I got sober. Everyone around me's found a way to let it go, but I can't help but focus on the things I can't control. All the darkness in my mind, pain that I can't leave behind. I know there's a silver line that I can't see. All the cold and sleepless nights, running out of ways to fight. I know there's a morning light in my reach if I keep buying time. I stopped going out to bars, I quit smoking. Thought that giving that all up would keep me going. I got over people pleasing. I quit falling into love that had no meaning. I could search forever for a peace I'll never know, but I can't help but focus on the things I can't control. All the darkness in my mind, pain that I can't leave behind. I know there's a silver line that I can't see. All the cold and sleepless nights, running out of ways to fight. I know there's a morning light in my reach if I keep buying time. There's a storm inside my dreams. I'm still standing on 2 feet. Let the current carry me when the water gets too deep. All the darkness in my mind, pain that I can't leave behind. I know there's a silver line that I can't see. All the cold and sleepless nights, running out of ways to fight. I know there's a morning light in my reach if I keep buying time.
Okay, so I wanted to check in for a second so that it's not just a bunch of clips of me crocheting one after another. Also, the lighting keeps changing because it's super sunny and cloudy out, so it keeps kind of switching as it has been throughout this video. But I am currently about an hour into this elephant pattern, and we have now completed the body. So it's looking pretty good. It's a pretty good size. The pattern is kind of difficult at points, but I will touch more on that later on in the rating of this pattern. But now we have the body completed, and now I will move on to the head. What I really like about this pattern so far is that so far it has been no sew, and the only thing that you need to sew on is the head. So I really like that about patterns. But now I will move on to the head and crochet that one, and I will check back in with you when I'm finished with the pattern for the final reveal and the review. Hey guys, so I'm now finished with the pattern, and here it is. So we have the little elephant completed, and I really like the finished product. It also stands up pretty nicely, so I will insert some footage here of how it stands up on all 4 legs. But let's get into the review of this pattern. So first of all, it took me exactly 1 hour, 44 minutes and 49 seconds to make. So this is quite a detailed pattern, but some of the time that it took me was also because of how the pattern is written. So I was looking at the written version of this pattern, and there's just not a lot of detail in this pattern. So let's get into the understandability of the pattern first, I guess. So the written pattern is not very detailed. It tells you how many stitches there are in each round and where the pattern starts. So you start from the 4 legs, and then you work up on the body, then you close up the body, and then you start working on the head, starting with the trunk and going to the neck part. So that's what the pattern tells you, but it doesn't really tell you where to add the safety eyes. It doesn't tell you where to attach the ears. It doesn't tell you where to attach the head. And also the pattern doesn't have a tail, so I kind of freehanded that one on there. because I am pretty sure that elephants do have tails. So I added one because, whoa, super bright. As I've been saying, the weather outside is kind of interesting today, so that's why the lighting keeps changing and being super bright and then super dark. But that's not the point of this video. The pattern understandability of the written pattern is not all that great, but there is a video tutorial as well included in the pattern. It's also linked in the pattern, so that's something that you will probably have to watch if you want to make this pattern, because otherwise there's just a lot of information that is missing. I guess you could guesstimate by the look of the finished product where everything is supposed to go, but the video is very helpful for that. I do have to say though, the video is not in English. It's in a different language, but it does have English subtitles, so you can still manage if English is the language that you speak. So with the video tutorial, I would say I would give this a 4 out of 5 for understandability. Without the video tutorial, just looking at the website, it's more of a 3 or 2.5 even, because you can't really finish the pattern without looking at the video. Also, for attaching all 4 of the legs, the video tutorial is super helpful because it doesn't really tell you how to attach all 4 legs together. So you kind of need a video for that as well. But with the video, you can definitely manage to make this elephant pattern. Next up, for market preppability. So of course, this is not a simple, easy, quick pattern. It took me almost 2 hours, but I definitely think that I could sell this one for 30 euros. So with that, and it not even being 2 hours, I think I could still make a good profit and a good hourly rate off of this one. So it's definitely market preppable. I would say it's a 4 out of 5 because it takes a while and it's not super huge in the yarn that I use, but this is the yarn that I use for everything, so it's kind of comparable. So it's definitely market preppable. You could make a pretty good profit off of it, but it's not as profitable as other items. And then finally, the outcome of the product. So I really like this guy. I am honestly kind of obsessed with him. I also did a pretty good job at sewing the head to the body, so I'm not a super professional seamstress, so I'm super happy with how he turned out. I would say without the tail it would be a 4.5 for me, but with the tail added it's a complete 5 out of 5 for me. I'm super excited to see how this one does at my next market and if he finds a new home there already, because as I've said before, I've been asked a couple of times if I had any elephants and now I finally do, so I'm hoping that he finds a new home pretty soon, but I am super happy with how he turned out. So the third pattern that we will be testing is another Instagram pattern, and it is the free pocket frog by Silicone. I know that this one is kind of popular, but I've actually never made it before and I want to step up my mini item game. So this is something that I've been wanting to try for a long time, and also I currently don't have any frogs in my inventory, so I definitely want to check them out. But as my camera battery is flashing right now, I would probably go ahead, make the pattern, charge my battery in the meantime, and check back in with you once I have completed the pattern, because it's another really easy, really simple, really quick one. So I guess I will see you once I'm finished with the pocket frog. Also the lighting changed again, so don't mind that. Okay, so now the battery is charged and I have finished the pattern. And here it is. I made 2 of these little froggies. And these are definitely the most market preppable thing that I've done today, because the first one took me 16 minutes and 22 seconds and the second one only took me 14 minutes and 57 seconds. So under 15 minutes at this point, and I'm pretty sure that if I keep making them I would get even quicker at them. So I'm thinking that I will charge 5 euros for these, because they are ever so slightly smaller than the ghosts, and I have all of my mini items at either 5 or 6 euros. So I think that I will go and charge 5 euros for them each. So these are definitely 5 out of 5 market preppable. The pattern understandability is, I would say, pretty good. I did realize after making the first one that there was a correction in the caption. So there's actually something wrong with one of the rows in the pattern, but there's a correction like written in the caption, but I didn't realize that in the first place. But that's kind of my fault. I should have looked at the caption beforehand. But other than that, all of the instructions are super understandable. So I guess I will give it a 4.5 out of 5, just because there is a slight mistake in the pattern, but it's not that big of a deal. You can just look it up, but you do need to look at the actual caption, which I keep forgetting when I look at Instagram patterns. So that's why it's a 4.5 out of 5. And now for the outcome of the pattern. I really am on the fence for these because I do think they look really adorable, but I'm not sure if people who come to my booth will know that this is a frog. So it kind of looks like a green little blob. They are super cute with their little smile and their blush, but I'm not sure how well they are going to sell compared to my other mini items. So I guess time will tell on that one. I personally think that this is a product that will draw in more young adults, like people my age, girls my age, because I don't think that's something that like kids would gravitate towards. It's more of like a desk buddy that you would get when you're like in your 20s and usually at your desk a lot. But I would say the pattern outcome, I mean, it does look exactly like in the picture. So I guess I can't really decide. Like, I love these, but I'm not sure how well they're gonna sell. So I guess for now I will give it a 5 out of 5 because it does look exactly like the picture. But after my fall markets, I can give you more information on how well this pattern actually does. So for now I have these two. I think that's the two that I will bring to my next market, and then we will kind of see how it does and if I should make more of them. And that's kind of the same for these little ghosties. I will take the two that I made today to my next market, and then we will see how well they do and if I should make some more of them or if they are not something that people gravitate towards. So that's it for the pocket frogs, and now let's move on to the next pattern. Okay, so the next pattern that I want to make is a bigger one again. So this will be from a YouTube tutorial, so another free pattern but another different source. The thing that I will make next is a Pikachu by Tasha's Crochet. Tash Crochet. I will put a picture up of the thumbnail right here. And this is something that I've been wanting to make for a long time. I've seen a couple other people make them and they always turn out really cute. So I've been wanting to make one for the longest time, and now with this video I finally have a reason to make one. So this will be another bigger pattern with lots of sewing involved from what I'm seeing in the picture. But yeah, I won't talk too much and hop right in and get started with the pattern.
Pick a movie, I'll pick you up, we'll go eat sushi. Or we'll go downtown, with our best moves we can boogie. Oh my, we both look so fly, like sweet apple pie. Yeah, they want a piece of us. My, when we drive on by, they just can't deny. Yeah, they wanna be like us. Na 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 na. We are goofy, playing tag in the jacuzzi. We'll go upstairs, with our best moves we get groovy. My, we both look so fly, like sweet apple pie. Yeah, they want a piece of us. My, when we drive life on by, they just can't deny, yeah, they wanna be like us.
Hey guys, so it's now actually day 2 of trying out free patterns because I did not finish all of them yesterday because as you can tell, some of these projects are bigger and take a lot more time than the tiny ones, and sadly I only have so much time I can use to crochet in every single day, so we're doing day 2 of this. But back to the projects. Yesterday evening I finished the body of this cutie. And we're currently about an hour in. So making the body took me exactly 57 minutes and 47 seconds. So I feel like with a YouTube tutorial, it takes me kind of longer to make anything because you kind of have to watch it and then you have to stop it, and sometimes you have to go back for a bit and stuff like that. So we're almost an hour in now and we haven't made any of his other body parts that you then have to sew on. So I will keep working on this one and we will see how long it takes me, and then we will do a little bit of a review of this pattern. Okay, so I'm finally finished with this pattern, and let's look at him first and then let's review this pattern. So here he is, finally finished with him. It's a very detailed pattern and I'm so happy with how he turned out. So this is what he looks like when he's finished. And in total it took me quite a long time, so let's look at the stats. So it took me 2 hours 35 minutes and 15 seconds to make this one. So this is definitely a hefty pattern to make, and let's jump right into the review of this pattern. So first of all, for market prepability, with it taking me 2.5 hours to make, I would have to charge about 42 euros, which I think is a little high. Like I'm not sure, like it's a super detailed pattern, but would people be willing to actually spend over 40 euros for it? I'm not so sure. So it's definitely slightly like too much detail for a market prep friendly pattern, since you do have to sew on 10 pieces in total. So you have to sew on the 2 legs, the 2 arms, the 2 cheeks, the 2 ears, and then also the tail is 2 parts. So you have to sew those 2 together and then sew it onto the body. So there's quite a lot of sewing involved, which I do believe that this is slightly too detailed to be a market prep friendly pattern. So I will give it a 2 out of 5. It's a great pattern, but it's not market prep friendly. So then let's move on to how understandable is this pattern. So the video is great. Tash Crochet does a great job at explaining all of the stuff. The pattern is sped up in the right places. It is detailed enough in the right places. The only thing where I think it could be a little more detailed is for the sewing parts, because she doesn't really explain anything about that. She just says that you have to look at the plushie and decide for yourself where everything should go, but she doesn't really explain where she sewed stuff on. So it's slightly vague in that aspect, but I think overall it's a 4.5 out of 5 because the pieces that you do have to sew on are relatively small, so you could definitely guesstimate where everything should go. So great understandability for this pattern. And the outcome overall, I'm really in love with how it looks, and I think that this one will definitely find a home pretty soon. So super excited about this one, and I would say it's a 5 out of 5 for outcome. It's very detailed, it's very great, it looks exactly how it did in the picture, and overall 5 out of 5, great outcome for this one. And the fifth and final pattern that we are going to make today is another Instagram pattern, and it's by Crochet by Janina, and it's for a mini chubby penguin, and this one looks really cute, and it's another one of the patterns that I want to try out in order to step up my mini plushie game, because these tend to sell the best for me, as I've said before. So I definitely want to have a lot of different types of mini items. So I've been wanting to try this one for quite a long time. So let's jump right into it and try it out.
Tastes like honey, call me hurricane. Waking up to the sun when I'm out again. I didn't let it shade me when the pieces fell out of place. Unlock the giants, I'm too young for dying. I fight with defiance, hard to fit in when I'm flying, flying. Fit in when I'm flying, flying. Someday never comes, road trips and shotguns. Sunshine on my skin, smile is kicking in. Vibes are in the air, jumping everywhere. Endless nights, 'cause summer's on my mind. I'm drenched in sunshine and good times, changing the station with an open mind. I don't wanna sound selfish, but I'm not coming back. The highs up.
Alright, so I finished the mini chubby penguin, and it took me exactly 16 minutes and 1 second. And here he is, super small and chubby. So let's get into the review for this little pattern. And this one I would say is a 5 out of 5 for market preppability, because as I said, it took me 16 minutes and I would charge €6 for this one, because it's kind of more or less the same size as the little ghosts, and it kind of works with my pricing. So €6 for this one as well, and 16 minutes is pretty good in time for something that I would charge €6 for. So 5 out of 5 market preppability. For pattern understandability, I would say it's pretty understandable. However, there was one row where it's kind of confusing, because the row has more stitches than it is supposed to have, so it kind of shifts where the row ends. So it's supposed to have 18 stitches, but in fact there is 21, so the row end kind of shifts around the body, so that before the row end, let's say, was back here, and then you would have to add 3 stitches so that the row end would be around here. And it doesn't really explain that to you. It just kind of expects you to know that the row end will be at a different spot after that round. So that was kind of confusing to me. But the rest of it, all of the color changes and everything was very understandable. So I would give it a 4 out of 5 just because of that one row. If there was any explanation, there's also none in the caption. I looked this time and there was none. So if there was any explanation about that, I would give it a better rating, but it's 4 out of 5 for me. And for the outcome, it would be a 5 out of 5 for me yet again. It kind of looks similar to the bigger birds that I have at my markets. They are by Haru Crochets. So these kind of fit the same aesthetic, and I would pose them as little penguin families and have bigger birds and smaller birds in kind of the same style. So I definitely think they will be a hit at my market as well. So pretty nice pattern. As I said before, I will link all of these down below. So these were all of the patterns that I wanted to try for this video, and let me get them all into one shot for now. I'm not sure how well this will work. I guess like that. Oh, you can't even see. Like this. These are all of the patterns that we tried out. Definitely all of them are great patterns, whether you're market prepping or not. Some of them are more market preppable, others are more complex and more of a one-of-a-kind plushie. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment down below. commenting the pattern that you are most wanting to try now after this video. And I will see you guys again next week for another video. So thank you so much for watching, and bye.